Alright, so yeah, like you said, this is Thief Mode Completionist for Circle of the Moon. Yeah, we get all this stuff, and it, yeah, there's quite a lot that goes into it. It's a big boy category, I feel like, for this game, and there's just a lot to keep track of, drops wise and stuff like that. So honestly, I'm probably not gonna be talking that much. That's why Garnitrix is here, literally the founder of this category.
Founder, router, nerd,
all those great things. But yeah, I guess I'll reset then. Get this going. But yeah, for some people that might not know, this was the first Castlevania for the GBA, and it's pretty great.
There's also the follow-up Castlevania to Symphony of the Night, so it had some pretty big shoes to fill.
Yeah. Alright, so I had to input the file name Dagger, which initiates Thief Mode, and I'm basically ready on a countdown. You want to give it to me, Garnitrix?
Sure, we'll start at 5. We'll do 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. Alright, so Thief Mode is pretty interesting. It's basically the luck mode of this game. In Symphony of the Night, there's a luck mode. I'm not too sure about the other Castlevania games if there's one, but this game in particular has really unique like replayability. When you beat the game the first time, you unlock Magician Mode, which is a mode that grants you all of the cards, which are the spells of this game, but it also reduces your strength and your HP and defense and things like that too. And Thief Mode is just kind of the extreme in all of those directions. Everything is cut in half. HP, strength, defense, MP. Only thing that's not touched is intelligence, but your luck is increased by 16 times. Every time you level up, you get 160 as well. So you start off with 1600 luck, and you get 160 per level up. So the whole idea is to take advantage of that and make something really interesting and fun out of the category. We're going to be collecting every single item in the game. We're going to accomplish 100% map completion, and we're going to beat all of the bosses as well. So the very first thing that's going to happen is Darren's going to be getting these cards. They're, like I said, they're the spells that you can use, but there's a really interesting glitch that you'll see really quickly that, you know, it's a glitch that even a baby could do. All you have to do is you have access to all of the magic as long as you have one card combination. You need, when you activate a DSS combination, which is the spells, you can pause in between it, and as long as you switch your spell cards to whichever one that would be the spell you want, it'll activate it. So Darren's gonna, really soon, he's gonna start zooming. Like, you think his dash boots are fast? Just wait till he starts using magic as well.
Zooming.
This effectively doubles your running speed. However, it doesn't double your air speed. So if you jump in the air, your speed is instantly cut in half. But so just continue on. Darren's going to be setting up for a little bit after the first boss. He's getting these MP maxes, which, you know, they're required as well. He needs to get them to complete the category's requirements. But especially in the early game, since we do not have much MP, it's vital to have it in order to cast magic. He should have around 95, 105 by the time after he beats the first boss. And you'll see that he's tapping these save points to recover health. Health management is super important. Unlike while the classic Castlevanias, you do like damage boost off monsters, this one we just kind of run straight through them like we're Rambo or something. And here we're going to get to see the game's mascot. Raise your big bones, everyone. Big bone!
Yeah, that wasn't that bad.
Yeah, like 4 bones or something like that. I'm a little jealous. Darren's big bone luck is kind of unprecedented. He literally broke the record practicing for this run a couple hours ago for one of the other categories. Alright, so I mean the game, you know, it's sizing up. It was a little hard. We're taking a lot of damage from things, but you know, we're just gonna. I don't think the game's quite hard enough for Darren. So what he's gonna do is he's gonna go on and he's gonna just go fight Dracula right now. That dog, I mean, he went down too quickly. We're just gonna go fight Dracula. Right, so the big bone is a 1 in 10 chance every time you throw the bone. A small bone or big bone can come out. Darren's tapping, going to be saving here for just as a precaution. One, we want to tap the save point there anyway to recover MP. HP isn't quite as important, but the MP is super necessary here. And we're going to see the first example of a major glitch. You thought that the DSS glitch is a pretty major because you can get the skeleton right away, right? But I think a lot of people that play or speedrun Castlevania games should be pretty familiar with screen zipping, and this game has a version of that as well. We get to do vertical screen zipping by using a summon combination. Ouch.
Yeah, ouch,
but this
ouch.
one costs MP. No.
Yeah, the early game for Thief mode can be a little punishing. You basically have to get first try warps to have any MP left to try for a bone, so I kind of have to just wait for a minute.
Yeah, so using the DSS glitch has an interesting side effect. If you use a spell that you actually don't have the MP for, you'll go into negative magic, which is basically, you know, just you're at 0 minus however much magic that you have that you just used. So he just used a spell that costs 30 MP, so he's at like negative 20 or whatever. So he's got to wait a little bit for that to recover. And so out of bounds works a little interesting in this game. Most doors actually won't open out of bounds, but Dracula's boss door is a unique case where for some reason there's a floor underneath the door, and you can open it. And so but normally when you enter this room, there's a trigger for a cutscene that starts the fight, but if you open it on the wrong side, that trigger doesn't happen, and you just jump through the room, and you know Dracula's just standing there,
just taking
menacingly. And so the goal here, normally we'd have a little more MP, and he'd be able to just thwack him with some bones, man. But you know, he's taking it nice and easy. He wants to make sure the vampire is nice and tender. All right, guys, it's time for the snacks. Strap in. It's Fruit Snack Friday, y'all.
Weep, weep, weep. Weep, weep, weep.
The main purpose of killing Dracula this early. So, as you can tell, we can kill Dracula really early in the game, and you can honestly go to Dracula right away, and you can beat this game in under 5 minutes if you wanted to. It's a lot of RNG because the skeleton, you know, it's a 1 in 10 for the bones. But if you wanted to, you could. So the purpose for killing Dracula this early on, obviously it fulfills one of the requirements. However, it also gives us a ton of level ups. So that helps us with HP and defense and MP as well, because we're going to be using the double speed magic combination from now on for like every bit of movement. But what this sequence break does is it also kind of breaks the plot. There's this whole like rivalry going on between Nathan and Hugh, and it just doesn't make sense when you do this. You drop down at the beginning, and I don't know, Hugh gets salty or whatever. But now he's cool with you. But later on, he's got a change of heart. Okay, but the run doesn't stop there. We're going to be going directly into some more zips. A common trend for this run is we're not going to enter areas from the front entrance like where you normally would enter them. We're going to be going from like what the back exit normally is after you've gone through the whole area and you've gotten the key item. You normally leave in this direction, but here, thanks to screen zipping and other glitches, we can go to the back entrance of the clock tower of this game, which we don't have to climb painfully. And this room can be pretty dangerous if you just enter it at the health that you have after beating Dracula, so Darren went ahead and tapped a little safety save, you know, a little tap tap, no big deal. Now the machine tower is very important. There's a lot of items here that we're going to get, and this is where the whole completionist aspect comes into play very strongly. He's going to be killing a lot of different monsters and he's going to be trying to get a handful of different items. He's going to try to kill the heat shades for the Jupiter card and for a styler suit. He just killed a slime for the Venus card. He'll be killing the fox archers as well for a silk robe. And hopefully he gets all of those. And when he leaves, he'll be killing the hyenas for a night suit as well. And the night suit is probably the most important item out of this whole section because it gives you a strength bonus. And strength is super valuable in this run. He's also picking up the cross sub-weapon, which he'll hold on to for the entirety of the run because it's broken. And another common trend with Circle the Moon in these speedruns is that the bosses just kind of don't exist. You run into the room and then you just leave. Nice big bone, dude. What is... Stop!
So what am I... I'm just missing the silk robe.
Okay, so I see in the chat, the purpose for running Japanese, the experience table, but also the text. If you watch like Ocarina of Time, you know that it's significantly faster to play the Japanese version because of how much less text there is. In this game, it's roughly about 40 seconds for the text in difference, which is also pretty surprising because there's not a lot of text in this game. But the experience table is actually about 20% higher on the English version or on the international versions than the Japanese version. So technically the Japanese version is easier than any other version of the game. Now the silk robe isn't all that necessary, but it's just something it's nice to have. It's nice to just kind of get it so you don't have to worry about it later. So just a little bit of backtracking to get it again. Get it here. Trying to remember like what you've gotten and what you haven't gotten yet is really challenging, and so I guess in a marathon setting, it's much better to just play it safe. So I guess I should enlighten, like, just give a little more information on the completionist like side of things. Like I said before, it's getting everything. You beat all the bosses, you collect every item, you collect all of the cards, and you collect all the magic items, and you get 100% map completion. That was just kind of something I thought of, because I remember I'd watched like 100% map completion tasks before, and I'd also just kind of thought, well, map completion isn't really that interesting, and I didn't want to, you know, just be running around a castle doing nothing. And then there was the idea of doing like all max upgrades, like the MP and the HP max upgrades. And that one's kind of interesting because it's akin to like a Super Metroid run. But it also wasn't all that interesting. And so I just decided, you know what, I don't know how long this would take, but I figured it would add a lot of meat and depth to the run. So why not just do everything? And so that's just kind of how the category was birthed, and it really was a big undertaking, and I knew that. So the estimate for this run is about 2 hours, and when I first routed it, I was like, okay, yeah, sub 2 hours would be pretty reasonable, but it's just kind of taken stride from there. And here we get another example of zipping just kind of messing up the whole order of the game. So far we've beaten the very first boss, which is Cerberus, the second to the last boss, Dracula, the third boss, Iron Golem, and now we're fighting the second boss, Necromancer. The order just doesn't make sense anymore.
Oh my god.
No. I'm signing off, y'all. This is not fair. Something you'll notice that Darren's doing at the end of some of these boss fights is he'll be jumping around. He's actually collecting map tiles so that he can get 100% map completion. He did it during the Cerberus fight while he was gathering hearts in the Necromancer room as well. And you'll see him do some strange movement in some areas to also collect map tiles. Nice golem card. I was wondering if you'd farm for it or not.
I was about to, yeah.
Yeah, the golem card from that electric skeleton is pivotal for a later part of the run. Now, okay, so now the order of things is kind of back in the way it should be. We have all the items that you normally would need to in order to go to the Eternal Corridor. The Eternal Corridor has a lot of really good items in it as well. He's going to be specifically killing werebears and a fiend demon, beast demon, hello, for strength rings and a curse ring, at least one curse ring, but definitely 2 strength rings, because strength rings give a flat 50%, or 50%, wow, 50 strength bonus. Imagine if it was 50%.
That'd be crazy.
There's one. And that's a ton of strength. Considering that you only get 7 strength per level up on Thief mode, it is a huge deal that you get just a flat 50. So getting 2 strength rings is a 100 strength boost, and there's a glitch coming later, like an exploit later on that just kind of makes that explosive as well. But you got 2 curse rings, just gonna get 1 more strength ring. Usually doesn't take that long, but the bears can be a little greedy. Alright. He's also going to kill these evil hands for nice prison garbs and intelligence rings.
I was gonna go for 2, but I guess that's okay.
You don't really, I mean, yeah, you don't really need to.
No.
Anymore. And now we get to see one of the best glitches in the whole run. I'm just going to let you know now that if we ever figure out how science works and how we can become skeletons in real life, we might be able to defy gravity. Just wait, just watch.
Oop, that's okay.
We call that trick the bone float. When you are moving in a direction and you throw a bone on the very same frame that you land on the ground, there's like a little sliding phenomenon that happens. And if, as skeleton, you're at the very edge of a platform where you're basically off the ground at the end of that slide, and you jump again later on, for some reason gravity doesn't happen, and you just continuously float upwards. And so now we're at, like, I don't know, the 4th to last boss. I mean, you could technically do this boss sooner if you wanted to, but this spot, Camilla, is really important to kill early on because you get the rock wing, which just makes movement so much faster and easier. And now he's gonna use an exploit, not only the DSS glitch, to use the cockatrice summon very early, but for some reason, if you switch to the Mars card, which is the 4th card on the top row, and then one of the lower cards, typically Uranus, Black Dog, or Unicorn, your attacks are powered up. And it's based on the element of the monster, depends on like which card you want to use. So in this case, he switched to Mars and Unicorn to change the element of the cockatrice summon to a holy element, and Camilla is dark type, so in this way, the holy element does extra damage on top of just powering up the summon as well. And so Darren just got the rock wing, and he's also doing movement in this room to make sure he gets map tiles, so he doesn't have to come back. And this is where the run becomes a lot more just moving and grooving, you know? We've killed a lot of bosses, and we've gotten a lot of movement, just a lot of movement items, but now we can just kind of start flowing. So we're gonna be opening up secret walls. No chicken in this game, I apologize, but we've got a lot of juice.
A lot of the purple Kool-Aid.
A lot of that purple Kool-Aid. And a lot of love. Lots of love. So he's gonna try and kill these skeleton boomerangs and hope for miracle armbands. And he got one first try, very cool. They also drop stylish suits, so if you didn't get one in the machine tower, there's also a pretty good chance of that. There's a really cool, so we've seen a lot of zips so far. Oh, I forgot, we gotta open up this barricade first.
Oh yeah.
See, I would have lost half a minute in this run.
That'd be really unfortunate having to backtrack that.
Man. Yeah. But yeah, we've seen a lot of really interesting zips so far, but the way that this zip is positioned, you can actually get a double zip. Because the loading trigger, the screen transition is at just the right height, so that when you zip, you could potentially get another one. Most zips in this game are frame perfect, but some of them have a 1 or 2 frame leniency. And if you get the second frame of this warp like Darren did, you can get a double. It's very, very fascinating. And zipping up here is just faster movement in general. He'll be getting the map tiles for this section on his way back. Unfortunately, we can't zip through like horizontal rooms, and we can't zip downwards, only upwards. It's going to be collecting this heart max here, and let's just kind of get it out of the way. We will actually be returning to this very corner of the map later on in the room. Stay tuned. He's also killing these marionettes. Cure curses are helpful, but they also drop mind highs, which recover MP, which are also helpful. Although I don't know if they drop them anymore, considering how few we saw.
Yeah.
And we're going to fight one more boss. So far we fought all but 3 bosses and the final boss in this game in a matter of 20 minutes. You know, that's just how fast this game is. The record for the Magician all bosses run, which Darren just beat a couple hours ago, is 25 minutes and 15 seconds. This game is very, very, very fast. He's going to do another cockatrice summon. This boss in particular, I'm sure as kids, we all hated this boss. When I was a kid and I first fought this boss, I accidentally had the knife sub-weapon. Never again. But when you know glitches and DSS glitches, it's not really a big deal. So as the plot thickens or unthickens or something, I'm not really sure. He was getting all salty again, even though we were all cool at like the 5-minute mark. I don't know what's going on anymore. So Darren's going to be heading towards the underground gallery, which is where the zombie dragons are, which is generally the first place you can go to after beating this boss. First try on the Thunderbird card is really good. So some of these cards he's getting, he got the Golem card earlier. Some of them are for collection's sake, some of them are actually very useful. The Golem card is useful for a spell we'll be using later, which we won't want to be using the DSS glitch for. And then the Thunderbird card is very helpful because it reduces the menuing significantly. In order to do DSS glitch, we first have to activate a DSS combination. So we have to actually have those cards. And with Thunderbird, all we have to do is press right twice on the menu instead of several times in several directions in order to get to a combination that we can use, which is just so much faster. Darren's going to be farming here for a little while. He's picked up several items on the way too. He picked up the Mars card from the Bloody Swords, and he just picked up the Manticore card. And this is the section of the run where if this were ZFG's chat, there'd be a lot of question marks. But we're going to be farming for mine, or Darren's going to be farming. I'm not playing. We're going to be farming for mine. Darren's going to be farming for mine for stories. He's going to be continuously rock winging upwards. He's going to be trying to farm. How many are you going to get? Like around 40? 50?
Well, 40, 50, that's risky business. I'm thinking more 60.
More like 60. He'll be here for about 2 minutes or so. These miner stores.
I just really like the beep beep sound.
Yeah, if you didn't know, brain floats drop leather armor and miner stores. I guess this is a pretty good time, I'd say, to talk about like the way the drop table works. All items have a base drop rate, and there are 3 different slots. There's the common drop, the rare drop, and then there's the drop nothing drop. The common drop, if you were to hit like just the drop table in general, if you were to hit a drop in the item table, the common drop has a 50% chance of occurring, the rare drop 25%, and nothing 25% as well. So there's always a 25% chance of you getting nothing regardless of however much luck you have. Leather armor is the common item, the common drop from brain floats, and miner stores are the rare drops. A lot of the items that Darren's going for, like specifically cards in a lot of areas like that, the Manticore card he got before coming into this room, that's a rare drop from the Thunder Demon. And the Magic Gauntlet, the green gauntlet that he got prior to that, was the common drop. So we tried to route out a lot of the items to try and put them in the common drops as much as possible, to just kind of speed it up and reduce the amount of grinding that might be necessary. But there's upwards of like 13 items that only one monster drops in this game. It's really odd.
I wouldn't usually do this, but
So Darren's farming for actually a part of the run that's maybe about 15 minutes away from now.
just a little extra safety.
A little extra safety, you know. Don't forget to get the map squares to your left after this.
Oh yeah, I've forgotten those before.
I have two.
Where's my other? Oh, I already have the other strength ring on. What am I doing?
Easy game.
I'd say menuing is one of the hardest parts in this category for me.
Yeah, so playing on the Japanese version, you kind of have to be able to recognize Japanese characters pretty quickly, which I don't speak Japanese, so that's a problem. I actually don't know the names of many of these characters. I just like recognize them, you know. Yeah. So it's helpful to know what they are because when you may get a drop like while inside of a monster or whatever and not see the actual item, and you'll want to know which item you got so you don't have to go into the pause menu and see what you might have had. So much like earlier parts of the run, Darren's gonna continue just through on. He's gonna go to the gallery. He's been skipping a lot of like max items, but he's been getting a few here and there. After Dragon Zombies, pretty much every max item is open for the taking because you'll have the push ring, which allows him to push these blocks. And after that, you know, there'll be a little bit more pickup. However, most of the underground gallery is open to you at the first time you enter. So he'll be picking up a lot of the items here the first time through. He's killing the harpy there for the star bracelet, which he thankfully got on the second try. The imps in this area drop a spiced meat, which heals 100 health. And they also drop big hearts, which are 5 hearts, which are very helpful. It's nice to always have more hearts. He went into that save room, didn't tap on it, he just wanted the map tile for it. Really, that's about it. Cockatrice drops... Cockatrice. The Praying Mantis drops the Cockatrice card and the hard ring. He actually wants both of those, preferably 2 hard rings actually, for a later section of the run. The hard ring is like the strength ring, but for defense. So it would give a plus 50 defense bonus. But the negative to it, same thing for the strength ring, it gives plus 50 to its affinity. So for strength ring, it's plus 50 strength, but negative 10 defense intelligence. I don't think it affects luck. I'm not sure. I don't remember. This room is one of the worst rooms in the game. Every game has it, but this is one of them for sure. Any room in this game with killer bees is pretty bad. Combine them with killer hands, it's even worse. But Darren is an expert at this game. At one point I heard he was also the world's best player, but I'm not really sure about that. We need to fact check.
Formerly known. Oh.
Oh my gosh, it's getting bodied. Yeah, the killer bees in this game are very just not fun. Since it's a side scroller, you know, monsters are more of like obstacles, and these are obstacles. I'll tell you what. So, can you guess what we're gonna do to kill zombie dragons? It starts with a C. It ends with chicken. And if you guess cockatrice, you're right.
The sea chicken?
Sea chicken! Yeah, Zombie Dragons is another one of those bosses. First time playing through is just abysmal. Dude, nice door open.
I know.
That was so fast. Alright, so now everything's kind of coming together. Darren's going to do a bit of backtracking, and he's also going for a rare drop Shingo. But,
Sometimes you get it.
sometimes you get it. Yeah, so he's going to do a bit of backtracking. Some of it for map squares, a lot of it for max items. He'll be completely finishing up the underground gallery when he returns here. He's going to exit and get a few map squares. He's going to warp back to the corridor from that warp that he went to earlier after breaking the barricade. And this was the whole reason for doing it. And he'll just go directly back to the underground gallery, because in the first room there were like 3 different pathways from there that have max upgrades, and he's just going to clean that up and head on back through the chapel tower. We've actually not been through this room yet. Or no, not that room. Wait, maybe that room. Yeah, that room.
Which room?
That one.
Oh, that one.
That one.
I need some meat. Give me some meat.
Give me that meat.
Hey, I got the meat.
What the?
Spoilers.
Spoiler. This guy's living in the future right now. Oh, nice meat. So this block here was the whole reason we couldn't do everything. Well, there's another block too. There's 2 blocks. That you couldn't clean up this whole area the first time through. But thankfully it's really early in, so you can just come back through here. But there are a lot of places in the earlier parts of the game and in the chapel tower that are just spread throughout that are locked behind the item that you get from this boss, from the zombie dragons. And the whole underground warehouse is completely locked behind it as well. You'll see some cool invincibility, sustain or whatever. There's been a lot of just running into enemies and just running straight through other enemies, but sometimes we actually run backwards to get hit, to get invincibility frames so that we can run. Oh, another meat! Dude, this guy's sick!
Oh yeah.
It's spicy now. Yeah, invincibility is very important in this game, especially for this run. Don't die.
Yeah, I know.
So now the chapel tower is going to get cleaned up. Sorry, go ahead.
I was just gonna say it was a little scary.
That was scary. But he's also going to be getting the Apollo card. Hopefully first try. Please be first try.
Oh, it's never first try for me.
Oh.
Except for when it is, I guess.
Yeah, except when it is. That green demon drops the Apollo card. It's necessary. I'll give you a little bit of a spoiler. We're gonna use it in the battle arena. You know, no big deal. Battle arena is kind of like, if you haven't played the game before, it's like the gauntlet of this game. No spells allowed, usually. You know, under normal circumstances, no spells allowed. And it's just a lot of you're just pit against 20 different rooms? I don't remember. I think it's like 20. It's like 10 or 20 different rooms full of just very dangerous monsters. And they're all powered up too. Like, so you fight these monsters. Like the very first room has a werewolf and a werepanther, which the werewolf itself you see very early on in the game, but if it hits you, it's gonna slice you. And the panther can also do the same. So a lot of the monsters all in the battle arena are much stronger. And there's no breaks in between. You only have the items that you carry with you in order to complete it. And normally you can't use spells. But so then Darren just got the Apollo card. You know, first try, no big deal.
Yeah.
Yeah, first try. And he's going to continue his warpath through the chapel tower. This time using the Rockwing to not only, you know, get the map squares, but also get the max items. Because prior to this, we warped up through the chapel tower, which is very fast. But you know, you don't get map squares when you warp. It's just kind of a quirk of the glitch. Some of these rooms I actually had never seen before until I routed out Completionist. It's pretty funny. There's actually, the Rockwing is a pretty interesting item. Something I found out on accident is that you can extend the height that the rock wing gives you by holding down the jump button after you rock wing until like a certain threshold. There's like a 40 frame threshold where you can where you have the opportunity to hold down the jump button to extend the height of it, and it's actually, from what I can tell, it's not very well known at all, because there's a recent task released a few months back of Circle of the Moon all cards, and it didn't implement it in a few places where it would have been a little faster, and it's just really fascinating how there's just like little tech in so many places in this run.
All right, here we go.
Here we go. We're about to see the big, just the big of this run.
The big.
The big.
It's even better when it's no music. It's serious time.
Yeah. So we're gonna go back to that corner of this chapel tower that I mentioned earlier, where you got that heart max, and he's gonna set up a glitch. Or an exploit rather. Normally you can't slide while in midair, but Darren's going to manipulate, take advantage of a frozen monster in order to, well, he got bad RNG that time. But next time, he's going to manipulate a frozen monster while crouching and swinging an attack in order to enter a slide space while in midair. And show of hands, where do you think this slide space goes? By all means, just tell me in the chat. If you guess the battle arena, you're right. But that's not all. That's not all, folks. Not only did we manipulate into the slide back area of the battle arena, you're still cursed.
I noticed. Yeah.
But we're also using mind restores, because the way the battle arena works is it drains your MP rather than just setting it to 0. So you have a very short time after using a mind restore item in order to use magic. So if you use a mind restore, select a spell, and activate it, you can even use the DSS glitch to use a spell. Then you have a very short period of time where you can actually activate the spell before your MP is depleted. And so Darren's going out of bounds, which out of bounds is actually very dangerous when there are monsters that can hit you out of bounds. Because if you get hit off away from ground, you soft lock the game, basically, and Darren would have to reset. Ooh.
Those two are particularly scary, those two rooms.
Yeah. The wind demons and the hippogriffs are not nice at all. So he's going out of bounds, you know, he's going through the battle arena. You know, it's just a battle arena. But did you know that the very first room in the battle arena, the entrance to the battle arena, connects to the very last room? And this is a shout out to Zatoshi, which gave us a RTA viable way to get to this room. And that's why he went out of bounds and warped. You could actually go from the front, or from the regular entrance, and just go into that area by itself, like you normally would, where you exit, and just go out of bounds from there. But it's about a minute faster to do it this way. Plus, you can get to the battle arena early. Now, another thing he did is that he slid out of the battle arena and back in. This is an interesting exploit because it allows you to go through the battle arena backwards, but also none of the doors close behind you. Normally, doors close behind you every time you enter a room so that you can't go backwards. Now, there are 2 items that he's searching for here, and sadly, he didn't get one of them on the first try. There are 2 cards. There are 2 cards he's really aiming for. One of them is Unicorn from those white armors, and the other one is Black Dog from these devil armors. They are just the bane of this speedrun, to put it lightly. We got Black Dog. That's usually the one that sucks. And so if you fail or just aren't lucky enough to get the card, it's not all over yet. You don't have to like redo the whole battle arena like you would normally.
Oh, dang it.
You can...
I was going for another potion, you didn't even give it to me.
They can also drop potions, which heal 250 HP, which is invaluable. So, like, what Darren's doing now is that he's actually going through the normal path, which Once you start going the normal direction, the doors start closing behind you. So you have to beat the monsters to progress through the rooms.
Yo, jackpot. Check this out.
3 cards, 3 cards, 3 cards. Oh! 3 potions. So in order to beat the white armor, to fight the white armors again, he actually has to go to the very end. He has to beat this devil first, and then he has to do the X point where he slides out through the exit and then slides back in. And hopefully he gets it on that try. Fighting this devil is pretty dangerous, I will say that. But you can work around it. It's not really that bad. As you can tell, he's using DSS glitch to...
Ooh!
Oh my gosh.
You know what happened.
To summon... I don't want to think about it. Oh my gosh, I thought about it after I saw it.
So that's really nice. So, like, if you have to backtrack through this area and fight the demon, it stinks, but there's a rare drop that you have to get anyway. And if you get it right there, that's kind of nice.
That armor he just got, the devil, that monster, he's the only monster that drops that armor. So later on, you probably have to farm for it. But it's really nice that you got it there. And there's another occasion, other than the cards, where he'll farm for an item, because it's just a very convenient spot to get it.
Oh my goodness.
Strap in, boys. This is why the estimate is 2 hours. It's a good thing you got 60 mind restores, right?
See, that's what I'm saying. I knew it.
It's not unlikely that you get both cards on your first round through. It's just... for some reason it doesn't happen. So I guess I can talk a little bit about the armors in this game. So going through the battle arena, there's multiple reasons for it. One of them is because going at this particular stage in the game is really convenient. It's also just faster to go from the back exit first. Like I said, it's about a minute faster. And also getting the shining armor is super nice because it's the second strongest armor in the game, just behind dark armor. But it's only slightly behind dark armor anyway in defense. So you can... and it doesn't have any penalties either. So you can use the shining armor to not only get through the battle arena, with much less discourse. It also allows you to go through like the observation tower and other areas of the game with really no worries, to be honest. Can the game can you give Darren the card, please? It's alright, Darren's a professional. He's trained his whole life for this moment. At least we know you won't be dying anytime soon, right?
No.
Assuming you don't get one shot.
10 potions, holy moly.
I think Darren needs some encouragement, guys. I need you all to press that one button on your keyboard for the unicorn card. If we get enough ones, I'm sure we're gonna get the unicorn. Press 1 for unicorn, my guys.
Oh.
Oh my goodness.
This is ridiculous.
Okay guys, that was just RNG video. Yes. That's a lot of potion.
I know, dude. I'm
You're gonna
so
be so
stocked.
over leveled. We haven't even gotten to Lilith yet. Oh man. Well, if you like the battle arena, guys, then you're in the right place right now. 'Cause this has become a battle arena stream. Cut the ties, no more completionists. We're just here in the battle arena forever now.
Okay.
I heard a card sound. I see a card. Guys, you got the card.
I have so
Now
many
the run
potions.
continues.
So many potions right now.
Just like run into everything.
I know.
Alright, now there's just one more room he's gonna actually intentionally, he's gonna be killing other monsters as well, just for the sake of it, but this next room coming up, he's gonna be killing the Archdemons and the Ala runes, because they drop very valuable items. One of them he's gonna try and get 2 strength armbands, which is, as you might understand, is the logical upgrade to the strength ring. Instead of 50 base power, it's a flat 100 base power. With other drawbacks as well, like the defense and other things like that. All the runes also drop Potion X, which he just got one, which is great because that item is horrible to farm.
Yeah, it's a rough one.
Both the Strength Armband and the Potion X are not very good to farm because the room that you have to farm them in is just kind of awkward to run around. I did, not to brag about how big of a nerd I am, but I did I have a file on my game where I've gotten all 99 of every item, and the fastest I could do that room was like 35 seconds in one round trip. And so doing it in a speedrun setting, it's not nearly as fast either, because you're not level 99. Unfortunately, he didn't get any strength armbands though. However, if you're not going to get an item in that room, that would be the one you don't want. There's a lot of really, really clever movement to get through some of these rooms, like you saw in that Marionette room, and also in this Abbey and Dark room. The main reason we're going backwards and we're actually going through all these rooms instead of taking one of the exits is again because Darren wants to complete the map, and so he wants to get the rest of the map tiles. Otherwise, they just peace out and just go somewhere else. But thankfully, because of the Shining Armor and because of all the potions he got through that farming, he won't have any problems getting through these sections of this section of the game. So normally, you know, this place is very, very dangerous, but it becomes much less dangerous when you have a whole stock of potions and you're going backwards. But there is something to be aware of. If you get, like earlier when he was farming for the cards, and he goes backwards and he goes the intended path, the door shuts behind you. So if you were to, for some reason, get knocked backwards into the room that you just entered, the door would shut behind you, and that's pretty much run over.
Yeah.
Thankfully, Darren, being the world's best player that he is, didn't have any problems with that. And he's made it out of the battle arena. This is something to celebrate, not gonna lie. I'm surprised he didn't die at all. I would have died trying to kill the devil that many times.
Whew. Made it out, finally.
Made it out. And now, not only does the run just get significantly less stressful, there's just a lot more fun to be had as well, because now we have all the items that we need to start cleaning up everything. But first we're going to be getting the Saturn card from the Fallen Angel here. Fallen Angel's kind of a silly monster, but it's one of 4 flying demon thingies. I don't remember. But yeah, one of 4 or 5 demons, and it drops a unique card that allows you to summon familiars to assist you, kind of like the demon familiar and the sword. Well, there's no sword in this one, but you know, the demon and the fairy, like in Symphony of the Night. But it looks like we're having the same card luck as we did in the battle arena. A small time saver that he's doing in between each farm. He's not starting a DSS activation until he opens the door, because you have to wait a moment for the door to open anyway. So it saves a few frames. It's pretty nice. There's a lot of little time savings that go around in this game. Movement in this game, while it's pretty simple in general, like for dashing, all you have to do is tap forward one direction twice in order to dash. There's a lot of ways that you can maintain your dash so that you don't have to tap twice in the opposite direction or do other things like that. Because the less times you have to initiate your dash, the better.
No. Did I ever mention how much I love this category?
No, could you tell us more?
Sure. Ooh.
So we're seeing the other side of why he farmed so many mind restores, not only for the battle arena because it drains your magic so quickly. If some of these monsters take a long time to drop the item that they are supposed to drop, you know, he'll be here. He needs to have more MP, because a lot of them have a lot more HP than you can deliver. And summons you can power up very easily. So it's generally the fastest way to kill monsters.
Come on, man! This is typical completionist luck right here.
Great. You're gonna get like first try everything else though.
Yeah.
First try diamond armor, first try sage robe. Please first try sage robe. Don't forget to go to the right through that corridor with the panthers and stuff like that.
Yeah.
After getting Saturn. I've done that. No bueno. At this rate, you might have to find more mind restores.
I was just thinking that, but we'll see what happens. I'm just gonna roll
You got
with
the
it.
Saturn card, no problem.
Yeah.
Well, at least there's actually a better place to farm mind restores. It's just with the routing, the place that he did end up farming was just the most convenient. So he finally got the Saturn card. Now the game this category just gets so much more fun, because now it's a bunch of running around. And not, while I said earlier that, you know, just getting 100% map completion is not super interesting, running around in this game is so much fun. And there's still purpose to it. Like, he's going to be collecting items throughout it as well. And you're going to be finding secrets, and, you know, this whole castle is just a labyrinth.
Yeah, I would say
fighting these. Sorry.
I was just gonna say the final segment of this run is probably my favorite, because it essentially is the final go around, running around and cleaning up stuff that you didn't get before. There's still some rare drops, obviously, throughout this. So.
That's it, yeah.
And the way my luck's been so far, it just
It's definitely my
continues.
favorite part.
Whoops.
The coolest thing about this category, to me at least, and I'm probably, I don't know, Darren can chime in on this as well, but like, especially that last like 20 minutes where you're just running around and picking up stuff, is you get to hear the music to certain areas that you normally wouldn't in a speedrun for an extended period of time. And it's just really nice. Circle of the Moon has some really, really good music. And it's amazing for a GBA release title.
Yeah, I would
Also,
definitely agree with that.
yeah, also, speaking of like this being on the GBA and everything, the way Darren is playing this game to have it be streamed, he's playing on his GameCube with the Game Boy Player attachment, and he's using an external cable, the Game Boy Advance to GameCube cable thingy connector, in order to use his GBA SP as the controller as well. And it's what I used to play as well. Did you put your strength rings back on?
Oh, see, I was wondering. I was like, why am I so weak right now? Yeah. Thanks for calling that one out. I thought it was just because I didn't have strength armband drops.
Yeah.
But it did seem really low.
I thought it was weird. I thought it was weird that you weren't killing Paul and Angel in like 2 hits, but I'm like, oh, maybe I just remembered it wrong. But I saw them with the Legion, it's like, oh yeah, you should definitely be killing that in one cross. The very first route that I made for this category, you actually came. It didn't. With the early battle arena wasn't implemented into it, and you came to the observation tower, pretty much right after the cleanup that you did before battle arena, because it just routed out better and was faster that way. And this place is so dangerous. Like you can't take any hits at all. And the main reason you went to this place that early is because so you could get strength armbands. And it's the same reason we're doing it now, right after the battle arena. Because not only because it routes out better and it's convenient, but also because if we didn't get the strength armbands from the battle arena, we can also get them here. There's another item that you can get from the Cataplepas, the walking little pigs or whatever, that drop soldier's fatigues, which is basically a strength ring for your body, but it's not really all that useful in this run. The Sirens here, they have a common drop for the Griffin card, which is the secondary card to do the double speed, which is pretty much all we care about. You'll see a lot of secret rooms in the observation tower. I like to, if you've played Super Metroid, I relate this place to Meridia, where the path forward is very obvious, but you won't be likely to collect a lot of items if you're just going forward, and you have to actually search for a lot of them. So this room down here is where you would farm Potion X's or Strength Armbands if you needed them. And he doesn't need Strength Armbands, he needs 2 of them for later on. He's got 1, that's a good sign. All the rooms can also drop magic robes, it's their common drop, which is pretty helpful because the other monster that drops magic robes are witches, and it's a very uncommon drop. Like, it's not only the rare drop, but the base drop rate for it is very, very low. So if you can get a magic robe from the Olive Room, that would save him a bit of stress or effort.
Hey!
Nice. 2 armbands, we're good to go for the most part. And the magic robe. See, everything's falling together now. Hey, Sneak. Hope your stream is fun. Glad to see you. Thanks for joining. So practically every monster in this section of the game actually holds an item that we want. If we hadn't gotten like toy rings earlier on, or steel armor, then we'd have to fight the devil pillars, or devil towers. Dark armors have the unique item drop of double grips. You can also get platinum armor from them. The olive runes and the archdemons have the unique drop. So you got double grip second try, that's really good. Cataplepas drop soldier's fatigues, and if for some reason you need a potion high, the legions have your back. And I think that's everything. Yeah, that's every item that he would need from here, because he already has the mirror armor.
Yeah, that's the silver lining here, I guess.
Yeah, right. Oh, don't forget to get map squares, since you missed the rock wing.
Yeah.
Q as a boss fight is, I'm sure, on first playthroughs, pretty bad, pretty hard. But You're not going to see it here, however, his AI is extremely manipulatable, if that's a word. You can very easily manipulate Hugh. And in like the Magician All Bosses speedrun and the Fighter Mode All Bosses speedrun, that comes into play really, and it shines through really well. It's really funny. If you haven't seen it, just look up Magician All Bosses and skip to the Hugh fight. It's amazing. And while you're at it, you know, just watch the rest of the run. And while you're at that, join the Discord.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of if there's anything I've missed so far. I think I've gotten everything but a gauntlet, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, I don't think you've gotten a gauntlet. I didn't see it from the hoppers. You can get it from a merman in the waterway.
Oh yeah, that's true.
It's their common drop. Hi Satan, bye Satan. Oh, that movement was so good.
Did you like that?
Room.
That back
Yeah,
rock wing?
I liked it a lot. This category is really long and just has so much involved in it, not just like items you have to pick up, but you also have to be aware of like monsters to fight, and you have to keep a very long mental list of things that sometimes movement optimization is really hard to like do well. There's just so much involved. So seeing things like that is just so nice. So we beat every boss that matters. Like, and we've done all of the hard parts of the game now. Going into the underground warehouse and then into the end game adventures. We have lots of chill vibes going on. Lots of running around, lots of collecting stuff, lots of just good times. Good times to be had.
Yeah, I would agree that there's not a whole lot that's like perilous at this point. The only thing that's perilous is rare drops from Lilith and Lilim, honestly.
Yeah.
And Ice Demon, I guess, too.
Yeah. And you know, up until recently, we didn't know the full extent of like how to power up summons. Normally, because you know, if any of y'all have ever played this game and have been on GameFAQs, you probably know about the power up combination using Bards and Black Dog with your summons. But we didn't know about like it being element specific, or that you could power it up even further with elements, depending on the element of the monster rather, until maybe a year and a half ago. At least it wasn't really documented or anything like that. And so the Lilith, getting the Sage Robe from Lilith was actually very dangerous before, because there was a pretty good chance that you wouldn't kill her, and she could kill you in one, like, is it one shot or is it, I think it's a two shot because you have HP maxes. But now, you pretty much have no worries to kill her, it's just the drop rate that can be a problem.
I guess another thing that I've been noticing a lot since I've been practicing this category a little bit, since last year, I mean, I haven't played this category in a while, but the movement in a lot of these places can be a little unforgiving. Like if you mess one little thing up, the cycles on these archers and those thunder demons and the holy armors coming up, just any like small little movement mistake that you're not used to can like kind of turn the room upside down movement wise.
Yeah, Darren makes it look really easy, but the majority of these rooms run on cycles with like when monsters do attack, and like where you need to be when they attack, if they attack, kind of thing. And if you mess up, nice. What you can do after that, so that you can like not only not die, but also just.
Hey, you liking those bonks?
Oh my gosh. But yeah, and this becomes very evident. Like, for anyone that's in here and wants to learn to speedrun this game, You can look up, I made tutorials for like the all bosses categories. Not for this one yet, because it would be very long and it's very hard, and I will someday, I promise. But in those games, in the all bosses categories, I go into detail about the cycles of the rooms. And it's very, very evident in those categories, especially in Magician mode, because you want to have double speed on for the majority of the speed run. And so you take damage, or you try to avoid taking hits in a lot of places. And any slip up will kill you. That's what I'm talking about, Lilith.
That's what I'm talking about, Lilith.
That's what I'm talking about.
That's really good.
That's really good. Both
And-
the MP max.
Yeah. MP Jug and Sage Robe.
Show off the no wall thing on your way back.
Oh my. Is that part of the completionist?
It's part of the completionist.
Oh man.
It's part of the category. But back on the note of like cycles and things like that, these few rooms here, you can, if you don't have a lot of potions or anything, or if your movement just isn't quite up to par, you could pretty easily die actually. Even with the shining armor, if you get hit several times, you're dead. That's just kind of the way it is. You don't have a whole lot of HP because you only get 5 HP per level up. And it's it's just a really interesting part. And so here, yeah, there's just no wall or ceiling here.
Yeah.
Because they just didn't put one there. It's an interesting part of the circle. You just jump out of bounds. And this room here with all these tackle blocks and the push blocks, it lags severely because not only there are just a ton of actors on screen, there's also, for this area, there's different states for the room, based on whether you've been into the next room, the following room, and you got the map square. But based on whether you get into the following room, it'll reload a different state. And so, as a combination of those couple things, like there's a lot of lag in that prior room, and so he breaks up a couple of those blocks, and it actually saves something like 6 seconds to do that, even though it takes quite a bit of time to break them. Say hello to death or a necromancer, whichever you prefer. Doesn't really matter at this point. He's just gonna die.
Yeah, death melts.
Poor Death. In the speedruns, he's really just nothing. You just laugh at him. But as me and Darren have learned, through some of these challenge runs that we've done, he is the worst boss ever.
Yeah, he can be really, really difficult without all of this, all these buffs and stuff.
Yeah. The Circle of the Moon Discord community and stuff like that, we spent last month and the year prior we did challenge runs. Last year in February, throughout the whole month, we did all of the whip combinations. We tried to beat the game by only using the whip combinations, like Ice Whip even, and Poison Whip. And last month we went through Mars Madness, which was all of the sword combinations, or all the Mars combinations, like the hammer and the holy sword, things like that. And you really come to appreciate just like how versatile that whip is when you don't have it. I think my favorite from last month was hammer only, not gonna lie.
Yeah, that was a good one.
Yeah, we learned the wiggle.
The wiggle.
Alright, so this is the best part of the run. You just run through, clean up, and chill, man. After all this high octane action.
Yeah, this is always like a nice, like, I mean, there's a lot of intense movement going on, but in comparison, at least for me, the like heavy menuing section, like in the battle arena and some other spots, this is like a nice break from all that.
Right. And it's also nice because in the catacombs, you don't need to get any items. There's, like, if you want, you can get a luck thing. in this room coming up, but that's really it.
Yeah.
You don't have to worry about a mental stack like, oh man, did I get this? Where do I go from here? If I don't get it from this monster, what do I have to do? That kind of stuff. You saw Hammer and Rose Striser. Man, did you enjoy it? Cause man, it was so much fun.
I didn't intend it, but check out this fireball deboost.
Oh man. Oh man.
Oops.
Right as he's about to back boost me. 2 quick ones. Body armor. You already know I'm getting out the perfect line. Awaken, yeah. Oh, yeah, fun fact. Awaken got into Smash Ultimate. This game is sick. That's the song that's playing in this section here. Some of these rooms that are kind of wide and tall, Darren has to be a little careful, and he's making sure he moves throughout the majority of it so that he can get the map tiles. Because if you're missing map tiles by the end of the run, it's just no bueno. In my PB, it's like a 1 hour and 29 minute run. I missed 1 map tile, and it's that 1 map tile at the very end of the warehouse.
Ooh.
And you have to run so far.
So I think at the end of this run, usually we would wait to pause until the final hit of Dracula to check out our items, but I think I'm going to do it before just for the viewers to see the verification that goes into that.
Yeah, no problem. Probably better that way too.
And if I miss something, I have to go back.
Right. Yeah, as you can see, there's just a lot of max upgrades and other things that were just lying about that Darren didn't pick up earlier, simply because he didn't need to, or it was slower. And it's just better to get them now.
That just reminds me, did I get that heart max just now? In the Skellington room?
Yeah, you did.
Okay. Just like slipped my mind completely.
Right. So the candle here drops heart megas, and it also drops the Pluto card, which is the 10th card on the top row. It's kind of broken. It allows you to use double speed, and it opens up the possibility of skeletons. Some of us have skeletons in our closet, and some of us are living skeletons. I think Nathan is the latter rather than the former.
What if I told you
Oh yeah?
that there's a skeleton inside your body?
No.
Ooh.
Did you get the Mandragora card?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
So I guess the 2 things you want to look out for in the waterway are you want to get a gauntlet from a merman, and you want to make sure you get a chainmail while you're down there.
Yep.
We're going through a bit of the Abyss Stairway, and it's honestly just for map squares. Yeah, but Darren hasn't stepped foot up the Abyss Stairway, I guess is the way to put it. He's been around it, but not in a lot of the other places, because he's warped and zipped and all sorts of nonsense. So he hasn't really had any need to visit it, but just for the sake of full map completion, he goes to some areas that don't have much bearing to the rest of the run, honestly. The waterway is, again, first playthrough, this place is awful. In completionist speedruns, it's still pretty bad, not gonna lie. It's not really the most fun place to run around. Like while the cleanup section is very fun, waterway is still pretty bad. there's a lot of waiting, and there's an order of things that you have to do because of the switches and the platforms. And if like you're just on chill mode and you kind of just didn't really think about it, you may hit a switch and waste like 20-30 seconds because you weren't paying attention. If you haven't played the game before, the waterway, the water is bloody or poisoned or whatever, however you want to think about it. And you constantly take 1/10, I'm sorry, not 1/10, 1/100th of damage, 1/100th of your health in damage for every, I want to say it's 20 frames. No, it's probably 30 frames. It's at least more than every second that you are standing in the water. But by killing death, you obtain the cleansing tag, which allows you to, clean the water. It doesn't hurt you anymore. So for, Completionist, it just works to route in death before waterway, and it's better, like just speed-wise anyway. On top of that, but in like the fighter mode speedrun, you run through the waterway without the cleansing tag, and it's pretty fun actually. It's really cool to see how you can optimize your movement to try and not take as much damage as possible, and to also just try to go through this place quickly. There are actually a few glitches in this area where you can skip hitting some switches and go and click through some platforms, but you won't be seeing them here in the completionist run simply because we have to go through the entirety of the map. If there's actually another glitch, which we call like time freeze, DSS freeze or whatever.
Yeah.
Where if you're standing on top of a platform or a monster, like a platform that's about to dissipate underneath you and you'll fall, or a monster that's about to thaw out or cease to be petrified, and if you activate a DSS combination on that exact same frame that were to happen, the actors in the room freeze into place. And for some reason, the moving platforms that you normally hit switches for cease to exist. Like, you can just move through the rooms freely and entirely. And so, but it's frame perfect on a 60 FPS game, and it takes a lot of time to set up. So it's not really a viable glitch to use. It would save a lot of time, but again, it's just like one of those things where, no thank you.
Yeah, it's pretty difficult.
I've yet to really be able to find a way to do it consistently. There's sort of pause buffering in this game too, but it's not as useful or easy to do as it is in like Symphony of the Night. Yo, nice subpixel.
I know, that was good.
Another unique item and kind of frustrating monster to fight coming up shortly is the Ice Demon, who drops the diamond armor.
Oh boy!
He's the only monster that drops it, and if you've been here, you know how dangerous he is. He can freeze you, and then you die.
And then you die.
Farming him is not very fun. It's also not convenient either. He's in rooms that take some time to get back to where his spawn point is. Hey, Rainbow Road.
Hey! No spoilers.
No spoilers.
But hey!
Hey!
Where am I going?
Something really cool about like after routing Completionist. Well, I'll tell you what. Actually, the whole routing Completionist in general took a very long time, because while I thought it would be pretty fun, I knew it would be like a big undertaking, because there's a lot of items and there's a lot of like monsters that can possibly drop each different kinds of items. But it was really cool because not only did I learn so much about the game, like I can just spout out random knowledge about monster drops all day long now. It's pretty funny. And it's just like, you really get to learn more about the game that you love. And Completionist just kind of plays to that strength as well, because Circle the Moon, it's very grind heavy, but Thief Mode thankfully allows that grind to be short, unless you're Darren going for the unicorn card.
Exactly. Yeah, that's an interesting note too. It's like this category would basically be impossible in any other mode.
Yeah. Unfortunately, like, Circle the Moon doesn't have equipment or like relics or magic items lying around throughout the castle. All of the items and the spells that you obtain, you have to get from monster drops. So the nature of the game is very grindy, and I guess that's fine for like a portable game, and especially for like an early 2000s game. But for other elements of like a speedrun and stuff like that, it's kind of a problem. Like in the fighter mode, all bosses speedrun. Now it's gone down to the point where you have to get lucky, either in boss fights or you have to get lucky item drops, particularly strength rings. They kind of just change the whole run. But thankfully Thief Mode really just kind of opens the door for a lot of this to be possible. And like, it's no exaggeration that the Thief Mode in this game is like significantly better than like Luck Mode in Symphony of the Night. You max out luck. Like, you start off with max luck in Symphony of the Night, and that's still not like enough, you know? And in this game you cap out max luck at level 54 on Thief Mode. But already at the start of the game, you're able to get all the rare drops that you may not even see in most of these items in the game, because they're either so rare or it's just so grindy. And Thief Mode is just that cool. Coming up, this is actually my least favorite monster and item to grind in the game. Lilim, which drops the dark armor. I typically have to spend a lot more time in this section than any other. A fun fact, previously during actually at the start of the run, I brought up negative magic and other things like that. You get the Uranus card in this section of the game. It's in the Iron Golem room. You fight another candle for it. But we actually choose to get that card later than now, and part of that's because of the whole negative magic, and the fact that you don't need to have the MP required to cast the spell in order to use a spell that you DSS glitched, or use the DSS glitch to choose. So Thunderbird requires 200 MP, and under normal circumstances you need 200 MP to even activate the DSS. But with this, we can either go into negative magic, or we don't have to, there's not as much restrictions on our MP, so that we can choose when we want to use mind restores and things like that in order to reduce the amount of menuing that we need to do. The first half of this run is extremely menu heavy, and then the latter half of it is just like, what's a menu anyway?
Oh man, strap in.
Get those stacks, y'all. It's Fruit Stack Friday.
Yeah, so my PB for this category, this was the monster that gave me the worst luck. Like, overall, the run was pretty decent on drops, and my movement was pretty good, but then when I got to Lilim, it was like what you see right here.
Yeah, I remember before I got my 129, it was actually a back-to-back thing. Like, one day I had 138, and part of it was because it took me like 5 minutes to get mirror armor, 5 minutes to get dark armor.
Yeah.
And then I did a run the next day, and I basically just saved 10 minutes because I got them first try.
Oh, I didn't think I'd run out of magic on that one. Oh well. conveniently, that was the drop, yeah.
No spoilers. I know I've been kind of rambling on the past, 80 minutes or whatever, but this is a pretty good time. If there are any donations, feel free to read them if you want. Or I can just keep rambling. It's no big deal either way.
A little bit of ceiling appreciation here and there. Some bombs.
I appreciate that ceiling. If you have time today, just give your ceiling a little tap. Show it you know it's there. Oh, I heard a card.
So, I think that's it. I think that's it.
Just a little bit of cleanup left. It's the last major section.
Yeah, I mean for items that you get, you're available to get early on. I'm pretty sure I got them all, so I don't really. There's nothing in my checklist that I think I missed.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Ooh, I got swiped good. Check her out.
Swiper, no swiping! Swiper, no swiping! Swiper, no swiping! Oh man! The werehorses here drop the defense armband. And the Panthers, although he's already gotten it, they drop the Ninja Guard. The Ninja Guard increases your strength by 30? I've never worn it. Sorry, I don't remember. Don't forget, Sage Armband.
Give me that armband. Come on, buddy.
During my 99 all items, I'd actually farm Sage Armbands whenever I got tired of farming whatever I was farming. It's just so nice. Run out of the room, run into the room, throw across.
Yeah, it is kind of a nice little satisfying kill.
So there's a handful of rooms in the audience room, which, by the way, has the best song in the whole game, that just are locked behind magic items. And so there's very little of this area that you get to see in the early game. And we get to see all of it now. And in fact, you really do have to traverse practically the entirety of the audience room in this section of the game with the cleanup. Say hello to Chrysogrim Knights. Which one is this one? I can't remember.
The needle armor?
Yeah, but the monster's name.
Oh, Nightmare.
Nightmare! Yeah, she drops needle armor. It's a pretty strong armor. It also is one of the few armors. Well, I guess there are a handful of them, but it gives a pretty good defense boost, but it also gives a strength bonus as well. I think it's a throwback to the Spike Breaker in Symphony of the Night, based on its design.
Oh, I'm out of hearts.
No more love. Yeah, you know, since we have some downtime, I will thank Strizerbot for reminding us that the Game Over Cancer Marathon its efforts are being put towards raising money for the Canadian Cancer Society. If you're interested in contributing or the Canadian Cancer Society, feel free to donate, man. We appreciate all your efforts. And it also gives us a reason to do a speedrun like this. And thanks to Strizer86 for hosting this on his stream, and also just kind of being the brain behind it. It's really nice. And I appreciate the opportunity to be part of this marathon.
Yeah, I also think it's cool to get to show off this category in a marathon. It's really something, let me tell you.
Let me tell you. Yeah, but Darren and I, we've toyed with the idea of submitting a race for this category for like a GDQ.
When did we talk about that?
Well, no, we talked about it a handful of times.
Oh, okay.
At least I think we have. But either way, after, you know, especially now, we've thought about it. I've thought about it at least. Okay, maybe he hadn't. But if both of us were to race it, who would do commentary? This run is so, like, just demanding.
Yeah.
Like, it's the record is an hour 24 minutes, but it's such a dense hour and 24 minutes. Alright, this room here, pretty important. One, the skeletons that you fight here, they can give you the Griffin card. But there's also a special candle in this room as well, and it sucks. It has the highest defense of any monster in the game. Well, maybe not any monster, but it has 990 HP, and it's the sole reason why we have 2 strength armbands. We can get away with 1. I mean, you still can, it just kind of is not easy.
Yeah, I don't know, it seems finicky to me sometimes, just because the hitbox on the Thunderbird, like lightning bolts,
Yeah.
Doesn't always seem to hit when I think it does. It's weird.
Yeah, and there's the chance that the lightning bolt will do not as much damage, like half damage or whatever, or 60%.
Yeah.
And in that case, it wouldn't kill even if it got all 4 hits.
So I went ahead and put on the Soldier's Fatigues just for a little extra.
A little extra. And again, I'll refer back to my 99 all items. I was level 99, or like 97 when I started farming for this item, for the Gambler Armband, which gives you 100 luck. And this is the worst item in the game to farm. It took me over 10 hours to get 99 Gambler Armbands.
It's hard enough just to kill this trick candle, you know?
Right. And on Thief mode, since you have lower strength, and it's just like, it's just not, you're just not set up to get it, you know?
Yeah. Kind of goofed a little bit. I'm gonna restart this room.
Oh boy. Strap in, guys.
Strap
Like
in.
the third time? So the fastest way to kill this candle, like if you have max level or strength or whatever, well, I guess on thief mode rather, is to have the holy sword, the Mars and unicorn, selected, and you do like slides across the room so that you don't have to menu through cards. And it still takes 20 seconds for every re-entry, and it's awful. Hey.
Alrighty, so there's just one more item left, and we can fight Dracula. And then once I get that item, I'm gonna go into my menu and just go ahead and check it out.
Right. Don't forget the warp or the teleport map
Yeah.
square.
Wait, teleport map square?
The one after Necromancer. Warp 2.
Oh.
I don't know if you've been in there yet. Yeah.
Yeah! So this is a very nice special ring that we're not really going to show off what it does here, but it's pretty interesting.
Yeah. These skeletons sure are fast boys. This skeleton here is timing its clock. You have to enter the room and kill it fast enough before it runs into the wall and kills itself. It's a pretty funny monster.
Oh! Alright, check this one out.
Strap in. Oh my god. The one that got away.
Oh, he's being stingy, I'll tell you. You know... We got time.
Oh, there we go. Let's see it. So this is Bear Tank. He's a funny
Alright.
boy.
So I'm gonna go ahead and do a check. You got 22 armors, 22 armor, 18 accessory, and 14 consumable. $22 armor. $18. Yeah, we did it.
We done did it, guys.
And there's
Good
one.
job, Derek.
One more map square.
Yeah, the final map square actually counts for 0.2 percentage, so there are 999 map squares in this game, as well as the final Dracula's room. And because now we're all kitted out, we have every item in the game, and we've seen the whole castle, Dracula also melts. Sorry, but this final boss is not much to see. It's fun to watch him die. That's always fun. And you don't have to throw big bones at him. The main strategy here is to just Thunderbird, because it's a very strong summon. And you got Meteor Spears. Man, he's just getting all the speed today. No, 2 hits. Oh.
Yeah, I know. So yeah, time's gonna be coming up pretty quick. Should take 2 summons to do this.
Maybe 2.
Yeah.
Feel that mid-air summon? That's hard, y'all.
So... time. Well, I guess Scarnatrix, you could probably do it, because I'm in the future.
Right. Time.
There we go.
GG, y'all. GG, Darren.
Yeah, that was definitely a run. 139 is
That
still
was quite a run.
pretty good, I guess, considering the amount of RNG that wasn't in my favor. But there could have been even worse RNG, so that's just kind of how it goes. You know what I mean?
Just the way it is.
Especially in such a long run.
Yeah.
And
Right.
certain factors coming down to RNG.
Yeah. Thankfully, Darren didn't really forget anything as well, because that could really just eat away at your run too.
Yeah, if you have to backtrack and grab something.
Yeah.
Right.
So as promised, we did get all the things, and that
Did
was
everything too.
that was
You
Circle of the
did all
Moon.
the things.